last night's election in New York, or Democratic primary in New York's mayoral race, was, I think, a very important step in the right direction for American politics. The so-called Democratic Socialist, Zohran Mamdani, defeated former Governor Andrew Cuomo, former governor and original favorite to win, heavily funded, heavily endorsed favorite. So what does this mean? How does this happen? There's been this, quite a while now in the United States where things just didn't make sense politically, where the people who had the ideas that were most popular, the people who were addressing things in a way that appealed to most people, the issues that polled well, those kind of people just were considered outsiders, were considered extremists, were considered left-wing radicals, and couldn't win elections in the way you would expect them to, going by the issues and what people thought of the issues. The more that changes, the more we see these kinds of people get elected, the kind of people who push for a stronger social safety net, for a responsible and more service-related government. The more we see those kind of people win, the better we'll be doing as a country. Now, New York is a big deal, largest city in the country, huge amount of money spent on New York politics. The way things go there are very influential. So seeing this young man win this victory certainly shows that things could be moving in the right direction. Of course, it's not over yet. There's still going to be a general election, but having won the Democratic primary in a city that in recent history has tended to elect mayors from the Democratic Party shows that he is now highly favored to be the next mayor of New York City. The opposition towards him, I think, played a bit too heavily on some threads that have had a lot of influence lately, but hopefully are weakening in influence. They really tried to hit him on being a Muslim and for supporting equal rights for all people in Israel and Palestine. He had to answer again and again and again and again whether he believes Israel has a right to exist, in which he said, of course. Then he would add the caveat, which shouldn't need to be said, but apparently does, that Israel should be a equal rights society, just like we would expect of any modern liberal nation state and democracy. That kind of very common sense answer goes along with a lot of his very common sense stances on issues which got him painted as being some kind of a dangerous radical. Now, the fact that most Americans would agree with his issues, I think gives hope that now that someone like him has won this round of the elections, of course, and hopefully will be the next mayor. It gives hope that we'll see more elections go that way, where the kinds of people who are on the record supporting the kinds of issues that Americans support, supporting a stronger social safety net, supporting higher taxes on those who can afford them in order to provide better services for people who can't afford them, people who support civil rights, who support people having the freedom and the ability to live life in a desirable way. That's the kind of thing that appeals to people, and these are the kinds of people who should be getting elected. There's a lot in the Bible about the kinds of people who should be leaders. I'd like to do some commentaries on some of those chapters. Ezekiel chapter 34, a really good one I read a couple weeks ago, where it goes through what was expected of the leaders of Judah in the time of Ezekiel and how they failed and how God was going to remedy that. And then we see a lot of that come along with Jesus. The leaders of that time were decried as being poor shepherds who didn't take care of the sheep, didn't give them their needs, wouldn't heal them. And of course, when Jesus came along, he did those things. He healed people. He took care of people. He spent his time and energies in looking after people. When we try to apply that to politics, there's always going to be some pitfalls. These people who run for office, it's hard to know. It takes a special kind of person, and not always special in the right kind of way, but there are some good ones, and at the very least, we should be electing people on the goodness of what they propose and of what they do. If they have a record, let's look at their record, see did they do good. And if they don't have a record, or if they do have a record, but we should always look also at how they speak. What do they say they're going to do? Often we just project onto people what we want, and that's a natural and understandable thing that we do, especially when we don't have good choices. But then that does also lead to disappointment. When there are good choices, when people are saying and have a record of doing the kinds of things that the public would want them to do, those are the people we should be putting in positions of leadership. The way America needs to be focused now, I think, over the coming years, and this should have started way back, but it's never too late to begin, is to be shifting from being a country, a world-dominating country with a world-dominating currency and a world-dominating military and alliance structure, to being a very large country, one of the major countries in the world, but not one that is focused on trying to dominate the world. And what should take the place of that? Well, efforts to build up the country internally. America could and should be a great country, but it should be good and great because of how it functions and how it takes care of people within these borders. We should have highly functional systems that improve year after year. The benefits of technology, the benefits of growth and efficiency should be shared and spread year after year. Every time you look back at like a 10-year stretch of time, you should see a noticeable increase in the standard of living and a reduction in the numbers of hours worked to achieve that standard of living. It should be in line with how efficiency and productivity and technology are developing. Well, please let me know what you think. What do you think of this election? What does it mean? What are some elections that you're looking at that are an interest to you? Please leave your comments below. I will read them and respond, I promise, and I look forward to talking to you again later. Bye for now.